Okay. Let's lower my chair. It'll work. It'll work. This is what we want. There we go. So I was trying to put on my shirt because I always wear my shirt, but I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt because it's getting a little bit colder lately. So I kind of feel stupid. I'm wearing like I can't put it just doesn't work. Like it just doesn't. I'm still gonna try though. You can't stop me. You watch like I rip the shirt. It's okay. I do have spares, but I don't have a lot. Okay, this is not comfortable at all. Hey Keith, let's do this. All right, I think we got it. It's really uncomfortable. Like it's like pinching me right here because it's like too much fabric. But we got to do it. You guys have expectations of me. Gonna melt if I wear both. Yes. Well, it's not gonna be that hot, but yeah, it has been pretty cold lately. So I'm like, normally I'll wear a t-shirt and I'll just wear a hoodie if I'm cold. But when it's actually like kind of cold weather, like it's suddenly dropped a bit. Normally it's not this cold at this time of the year yet. It just dropped. So yeah, I'm like, I'll wear long sleeve shirt. That way I can walk around the house without needing a hoodie. Because we keep our thermostat pretty low, so it's like it doesn't get freezing or anything in here, but it's like it'll get kind of cold. We're gonna go back to our game, and yes, I have my chat open on this window so I can read your messages while I'm playing. I also have the game open on another screen, so we can go through it kind of quickly. I'm just gonna click continue here. We got a good.
아까도 얘기했지만 진상이 밝혀지면 모두 다 얘기해 줄게.
Okay. Let's see. Did we already do this one? I'm just gonna check the log. We just find it. Let's see if we can go. I'm just trying to find where it is in the game. Where is it? Okay, anyway, well, as I told you a little bit before, 아까도 진상이 밝혀지면 once all of this is revealed, once we figured out what's going on, I'll tell all of you. Okay, I just want to see what the next one is.
단 억측이나 이상한 소문으로 누군가 피해받는 일 없도록 조금만 입 조심해줬으면 좋겠다.
Okay, I'm just trying to find out where we are in the game for... Where is this? Is this not where we are? Okay, here, I found it. Sorry, I was just trying to find the spot of translation. That way we can go through this a little bit more quickly. Okay. 단 억측이나 이상한 소문으로 누군가 피해받는 일 없도록. So, 없도록. So that there is no 일. What was that? I just got a notification of... Oh, a subscriber. Okay. I totally forgot I have subscriptions on. Hold on, that was loud. Subscribers. Let me turn that down. That was like really loud. We'll keep it loud for other things, but for subscribers, I'll turn it down a bit. There we go. Totally forgot I had that notification on. Welcome. Okay. 단, it's just that. 억측 is like a guess about something. 측, you can guess, is like gonna mean some sort of estimation or like guess about something. And sorry, if you see me stretching over, I'm just going to my dictionary to get a better translation for this. Speculation, is it? Let me check. Conjecture, speculation. Okay, yeah. So speculation or 이상한 소문, so like strange rumors. So like due to any strange rumors, someone might get hurt. 피해 받다 is to get hurt or like injured, not necessarily physically, although it can be, but it's specifically for like, it's just any sort of general harm. So just to make sure no one gets hurt because of speculation or strange rumors, 조금만 입 조심해줬으면 좋겠다. So like I hope, or basically in this case it's like please 해줬으면 좋겠다. Like please, it would be great if you would all 입 조심, be like careful about what you say. 조금만, at least just a little bit.
부탁한다.
부탁한다 is just please. Okay. 진심을 담아도 통하지 않는 사람은 있기 마련이다. So like 있기 마련이다 is like, of course they're bound to be, they're gonna be. 사람은, they're gonna be people who 통하지 않는 사람, who are it's not gonna mesh with. 통하다 is like to mesh with someone or like to go well with someone. So even if you've got the truth to what you're saying, there's still going to be people that aren't gonna mesh with that. So in English, they have the translation: regardless of how sincere you are, there will always be people who don't care, which I think is a decent translation. Keith is like, I'd be pleasantly surprised if you were out of character. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't really have like a strong character for my channel other than just energetic, I guess. Energetic. Yeah, that's probably my character. Yeah, other than that, it's just yeah. Okay. Okay, that we can translate. It's just a sigh.
수혁아,
수혁.
네?
교무실 내 자리 알지?
교무실 is the staff room. And 내 자리. So you know my seat in the staff room, right? You know where my seat is, right? Or not necessarily seat, but it could also mean like my spot. Sorry, not staff room, but like kind of like just classroom. I'm trying to see if there's a better. Yeah, I guess teacher's room, maybe? I mean, it's kind of just a room for teachers that they hang out, but I don't know the best way to translate that.
네.
Yeah.
여기 전부 핸드폰 걷어서 가져다 놔줄래?
Okay, sorry, I'm just getting to the spot. 여기 전부, so all here, 핸드폰, cell phones, 걷어서. It's like, gather, 가져다 놔줄래? Do you want to pick up all the cell phones here? So like take everyone's phones. And then 가져다 놔주다. Take them there and leave them there. Like, do you want to take everyone's phones and put them over there?
수업 끝나고 사진이랑 동영상 삭제한 거 확인하면서 돌려줄게.
So 수업 끝나고, so after class is over, then 사진이랑 동영상, so photos and videos, 삭제한 거 확인하다, to confirm that I have deleted them. 확인하면서, so while I do that, 돌려줄게, I'll give them back. 돌려주다 is like to return. So after class, I'll return them once I've confirmed that all videos and pictures about this are deleted, which is okay. Hey, Cosma. Welcome. Okay, so he takes everyone's cell phone.
에? 아, 그건 아니죠, 선생님.
Oh, come on, that's not right, teacher. The English says, that's not fair. It's not really saying fair, but that works. It's basically like, hey, come on, teacher.
우리도 프라이버시가 있다고요. 차라리 장렬한 죽음을.
Oh, I skipped one, but anyway, we've also got privacy. And then, actually, I could probably go back. I can just show you. 우리도 프라이버시가 있다고요. Privacy is just privacy. Yeah. I don't need to translate that. You know what I mean? 차라리 is like is for saying you would rather do something. So like 차라리, which rather would be better if 장렬한 죽음을, rather give me death. Basically, it's kind of like that expression, like give me liberty or give me. He's just saying I should rather die. Which is really stupid, because that character just talks kind of dumb like that. So everyone shook. That's why I shook the screen. 핸드폰은 우리에게 단순한 전화기 이상이다. So 이상 is to be more than something. So 전화기 is telephone. So our cell phones to us are more than 단순하다, simple phones. So they're more than just phones. 일상이자, 생활이자, 삶의 수단 그 자체. It's like a very dramatic way of saying 일상 is like our lives, and 생활 is like our everyday lives, and 일상 is like our day-to-day lives. So basically they're our lives, and 삶 is like our life. So like there are our day-to-day lives, our way of living, our actual lives. That very thing, 그 자체. 그 자체 is just something you can stick on the end that means like that very thing itself. Some people actually make a joke about this. You'll hear people say jokingly, instead of 그 자체, like that, the very thing itself, they'll say 그 잡채, which is, you know, the side dish, 잡채. But people say 그 잡채 as like a joke. Sometimes like kids will do this. It's kind of funny, but don't do it obviously in a regular conversation. They'll think you're just like dumb, like really cheesy. But yeah, it's something I've heard a lot. 삶의 수단. Sorry, I didn't do 수단. 수단 is like a way of doing something. In this case, it's like a way of life. It's not exactly wrong this day and age. Yeah, it's true. I mean, I don't remember how I lived without having access to a cell phone. Not because of social media. I actually don't really use much social media. Like, I post my live streams on Twitter, but I actually don't use Twitter. I don't comment on it. I put posts on Instagram, but I don't really use Instagram much. I'm not a big fan of social media, although I have accounts for all of them. But it's just having access to search things that I need and being able to communicate easily with anyone that I want to. That's the biggest thing for me. It's just having like Kakao Messenger to be able to talk with friends, the internet so I can search if I have a question about something, I'm curious about something like that. That's kind of what I use it for most of the time. 핸드폰을 빼앗긴다는 건 곧. So taking away our cell phones is just like 신체 한 부분을 떼어내는 것과 같다. They're being very dramatic, but again, they're saying taking away our phones is just like 신체 is like our body, 한 부분, one part, like a part. 떼어내다 is like ripping out, ripping off. So it's just 것과 같다. It's the same as ripping out a part of our bodies. And the English translation says, to take our cell phones away, it was like ripping off a part of our body. Kind of, although, yeah, I mean, before cell phones, you just kind of, if you need to talk with someone, you call them. If they're not at home, you call them later. You leave a message. If you want to find something out, you use the internet at your house. And if you're talking about before internet, well, that's why we had encyclopedias, which nowadays no one really has anymore, but essentially just Wikipedia. If anyone's older than like 30, you know what I'm talking about with encyclopedias. Just these big books that you'd have at your house, and you know, people would sell them on TV and whatever, and you buy a new one every like 5 or 10 years. You'd have like a general encyclopedia that kind of has everything in it, but briefly, and then you'd have if you had a lot of money, then you'd have like a whole library of encyclopedias, like all the editions from A to Z, and those would be frequently updated every so now. So you have to order a new one when it gets out of date. But we had like a general, just a big single encyclopedia at our house, and you'd look that up if you want to find anything. If you want to find something in detail for a report, then you just go to the library, and the school would give you time, you go to the library to research. So you never really needed, like right now you need to search and find this thing out. There wasn't anything like that. Yeah. 당연히 크게 반발할 수밖에 없었다. Of course we couldn't 수밖에 없었다. It's like we couldn't help but. The only thing we could do was like that. 반발 is like push back, oppose. Not 반발. Hold on, I typed it wrong. That's like 반발. Yeah, oppose or resist. So we couldn't do anything but oppose it. 당연히, of course. 크게, greatly, in a big way. I used to read a lot of encyclopedia. I don't miss it. Yeah, I don't really miss it either. It was kind of annoying that it was this giant book and you had to find, like, search to find stuff. I didn't use it that often, but we did have it if you needed to know something. Or like, you know, check the dictionary, check the encyclopedia. Yeah, I mean, I would go to the library a lot more when I was a kid, just because you literally need to go there if you want to read something about, like, when I was learning Japanese before I did Korean, I remember the very first thing I did was I went to the library and looked to see actually what books they had, and there weren't really, I mean, even, this is weird to say, but Japanese wasn't really popular of a language when I was learning in 2002. Like, anime was like a really obscure thing still. Like, you were weird if you liked anime. That kind of opinion was still a lot stronger. And I wasn't an anime fan or anything. My friend was, but he would loan me some of his anime shows to watch. And I'm like, oh, this is fun, but I didn't really get into it very much. But I was studying Japanese at the time. And I remember the library, there were like 2 books for Japanese, like 2. So I got both of them. And nothing for Korean. There was absolutely nothing for Korean. So the Korean book I used first is I actually just bought it on the internet, I think, or something. Or maybe I went to a bookstore. I can't remember. Oh no, it was a bookstore. But because they actually sold a book. They had like Korean for dummies, and then they had a dictionary, and then they had the book that I ended up getting, and they had a phrase book for travelers, and like that was it. There was no such thing as like internet free lessons for Korean or even paid lessons. And the same went for Japanese. It was just language learning is just so much easier now. Okay, anyway. 예상보다 심한 반발의 선생님은 살짝 방황하시는 것 같았다. So 방황하다 is to be like, you don't know what to do. Like, you're kind of like shocked or surprised at something. You're like that's 방황. It doesn't translate perfectly into English without a context, but in context you can say it's like kind of like shocked. 살짝, a little bit. So this teacher seemed a little bit shocked at the 심한 반발, at the strong or severe opposition. 예상보다, more than expected. So even the teacher was like more surprised than we expected at us being opposed to it. And the English says, even the teacher was surprised at how much opposition she faced. Okay.
진짜 해도 너무하시네.
너무하다 is like you're like too severe, you're going too far. 너무하다. Or pushing yourself too far. It can be kind of like a lot of meanings. Like 너무 is too much. So literally to do too much. 진짜 해도 너무하시네. Like you're just being like way too harsh. This is too much. The English translation says you're being too harsh. Okay.
잘한다, 경수. 네가 빠지면 섭하지. 자, 시원하게 사이다 한마디.
Okay. 잘한다 is he's mocking him. He's like being, wow, good job, Kyungsu. Which is the guy who has the wrong name tag, the girlfriend's name tag, which is really annoying. I wish they didn't do it because it's already hard to memorize their names. Anyway, 네가 빠지면 섭하지. So you just can't stay out of this, can you? Basically, 빠지다 is like to stay out of something or to go out of something, and 섭하다 is like there's no Naver Dictionary just doesn't have a lot of good entries in English, but they do everything in Korean. Yeah, same thing as 섭섭하다. I was trying to see if it was a little different, but it's like a bit sad. So basically, you're just gonna be sad if you're left out, huh? Good job. 자, all right then. 자, 시원하게 사이다 한마디. All right then. 시원하게. So 시원하게 사이다 would be like a drink, the lemon or lime soda. Essentially, it's like 7-Up or Sprite, something like that is 사이다. So normally you'd say like 시원하게 사이다 한 잔, like one glass of one. Let's have a glass of soda, everyone. 시원하게, nice and cool. But he's like 시원하게 사이다 한 마디. 한 마디 is like one word. So like let's have a nice glass of a word, like saying something. But I don't quite get this joke. Other than I get it's a pun. But I don't think it's funny. The English translation says, come on, tell her what we think. But the English translation, oh, this is horrible. It says, yes, Kyung-soo, listen to him, everyone. Come on, tell her what we think. But that's totally stupid because he's being really sarcastic here. Anyway.
안 돌려준다는 것도 아니고.
It's not like she's not going to give him... It's not like she's saying she's not going to give him back to us. 안 돌려준다. I'm not giving him back. 다는 것. Saying that she's not going to give back. 도 아니고. Like, it's not like she's not going to give him back to... It's not like she said she's not going to give him back to us. But the English says it's not like she's not going to return it to us. So yeah, it's kind of what it is. But in this case, he's saying like, she didn't say no already. Like, she didn't say she's not going to give him back. Like, it's not final. How does English translate hyper dude? Hyper? Yeah, I mean, you could say it a lot of different ways. I'm not quite sure what that would mean in English. Hyper dude. Oh, hey, Small. I see your hand right now. Okay.
찍었더라도 스스로 삭제했으면 꿀릴 거 없잖아?
Even if we took it, 찍었더라도, even if we'd taken a photo, 스스로 삭제했으면 꿀릴 거 없잖아? Isn't there like, there's nothing to be upset about if we just deleted it by ourselves. So even if we took a photo, isn't there like nothing to be upset about if we just deleted it by ourselves? I'm going to translate 꿀리다 a little bit better though for you. Because it's not really just be upset. It's, yeah, to have something weighing you down, like to have something bothering you. That sort of upset, like it's bothering you upset. So there's nothing nothing to bother you if we've deleted it by ourselves, even if we took a photo. And what he's saying is kind of true. Like say, okay, yeah, let's say if we took a video or photo, then we could just delete it ourselves, and that's the same thing, right? The guy that had all the energy. Oh, okay.
에? 너 이 새끼 배신이냐?
You swear something. 배신 is betray. But I don't think betray is a good way to translate it because we don't use betrayer, like betrayal that very much. Maybe like traitor. Are you a traitor or something? So yeah. Because now he's like not trying to help them get back their phones. Whatever.
이 상황이 유치하게 배신 따질 때냐? 정 찔리면 빠지든지.
So in this sort of situation, 유치하다 is childish, like very immature. So like immaturely, 배신 따질 때냐? Is this the time now to like call me a traitor? Like 따지다 is like to say something is a certain way to like, let me get a translation for that. This is one I use all the time. Determine, figure out, like to decide something. Just to determine. I think it's probably the best way I can translate it. Anyway, is this the time you're going to be like saying all that like I'm a traitor, like all immaturely in this sort of situation? 정 찔리면. So if you're like worried about this, if you are being stabbed by your 정, you're then 빠지든지, then just 빠지다, just get out, just like stop worrying about it. Let me try see if there's a better way to translate this. Nope, doesn't even exist here. Okay, we'll skip it.
자, 수혁아. 내가 1번이다. 곱게 다뤄.
Alright, 수혁. I am first. 1번. I'm number 1. as in like number one to do something, not like number one in a contest or something. 곱게 다뤄. Treat me 곱다 is like nicely, properly. So like take good care of it is what the English translation says.
새끼 멋지네.
You swear word 멋지네. Like, oh, look how cool you are. The English says, I'm not going to read that, but acting cool, huh? 물론 효정이에게 잘 보이기 위한 행동이었겠지만, of course that would have been an act 행동 that he was doing in order to 잘 보이기 위한, an act to look good. 효정이에게, to 효정. So of course that was just something he was doing to look good to 효정. 당연히 반발하는 쪽에 설 것으로 예상했던 경수가 이렇게 나오자 묘한 설득력이 생기는 것 같았다. So of course, 경수, who was expecting that he would be standing on the side of those who were opposing the decision, as soon as Kyungsu came out, and again, Kyungsu is the guy with the Hyojung name badge. Again, I hate that they did that. Why would you do that to people who are trying to learn your characters? Do that later. Or have them switch and then give it right back, like immediately after, and then ha ha ha, and now you know that the character is a goofball. Good enough. Like, anyway. So as soon as he came out like this, 묘한 설득력이 생기는 것 같았다. It kind of felt like there was some kind of strange. 설득 is to convince. So like 설득력 is your power of convincing someone. Persuasion. I think that would be a good way to translate it. 생기다 is to appear. To be like it is there. It's persuasive. So it was like a strange persuasive power appeared or occurred. It seemed like is what this means. So the English translation says, everyone thought Kyungsu would be opposed to having our cell phones taken away. No, that's not what they said at all. This is 100% different. But when he came out and supported the idea, he seems to have swayed many others. This isn't what it says at all. I mean, it captures the same mood, but this isn't a translation of it. I kind of get it, though. The sentence is a bit hard to translate because we've got Kyungsu, who had expected to be standing on the side of those who are opposing, of course. As soon as he came out like this, there actually appeared to be some sort of strange persuasionness about what he said, is my best job of translating it without taking time to write it down. So that's what it means. And the English translation, I think they're just like, whatever. Like, this is what it means. So we've got our first example of where the translation is like 100% different in what they say. It is the same idea, though, and it works. Okay, please no more narration because the narration is all written really long sentences and hard to translate. 눈치를 보던 아이들이 하나씩 수혁에게 핸드폰을 넘겼다. So 눈치를 보다 is like to be socially aware of what's going on. So looking at like cautious and everything. So the kids, the students who were all like kind of on edge, maybe that's a good way you can translate it, like to be on edge. So all the students who are on edge, one at a time, 하나씩, one each after another, 수혁에게 핸드폰을 넘겼다, handed over their phones to 수혁. Slowly, one at a time, everyone handed their cell phones to 수혁. There is no mention of the word slowly here, so that's incorrect, but that's fine. Oh, we got a phone. 이청산. So 청산. That's the other student. 이번 과학 수업 중 계속 감시하겠음. So currently 수업 중, in class, in science class, in room 2, 2번. Also, everyone who's watching, how are you doing today? Unrelated to the stream, just how you doing? I know there are like 6 of you watching, I think. How's everyone going today? Doing. I was going to start the stream actually about an hour earlier, but then I got caught up making a pot roast. So I started it. So tomorrow I think I'll have pot roast for lunch, which I'm really excited about. Why? Because you buy pot roast ingredients and you spend like maybe 20 bucks to make this gigantic like 6 pounds, 7 pounds of pot roast. Because you get like, I'm putting in like 5 potatoes, like 2 celery stalks, like 4 carrots, a 4-pound thing of like beef roast, like chuck roast or whatever. And it's going to end like, you know, whole onion. It's going to end up being like, I think 6 or 7 pounds of stuff when it's done. But it's like 20 bucks. So it's just fun. You get like a lot of food. I'm good. Small doing all right. Cosma says, I'm working hard on some projects to get a job in programming. Awesome. I once thought about doing programming as a job. For those of you who know, I actually did a little bit of programming. I don't call myself a programmer. Although when I describe what I did, you're going to say I'm totally a programmer. It was like Googling to find the answers, copy paste, and then putting it together. I guess that's a programmer, but I would never call myself a programmer besides that. But I did a little bit of scripting when I was making my games, as well as another game which I never ended up releasing, but Patreon members might know what I'm talking about. If you were a Patreon back in 2017, I did make a post about an unreleased game that I worked on. It's hard. And even though it's fun, it's like it was more difficult to me. Like I needed to take breaks a lot. And if I was going to be a programmer, I wouldn't be able to take as many breaks as I was taking when I was doing it and taking as much time to think about everything. So I'm like, I don't think I have this. I don't think this is for me. Anyway, 계속 감시하겠음. So we're going to keep 감시 is like to monitor. And this ending, 하겠음, the mium or ending is frequently used in notes. When you're making a note like on a student's file or like an official note, and you're not addressing it to anyone, you just want it to be as short and succinct as possible, you'll end it with or the mium. I'd be better with pot roast. Yeah, pot roast. I'm also good. Hey, Kenneth. Can't sleep, so get to hang out. Just listening to you as I play a ranked game of League. Oh, nice. Nice. My brother likes that game. I tried to play League, and I have a story if you want to know. So anyway, first though, so my brother plays League. He's pretty good. I tried League once, and I guess I picked the wrong character. Everyone was swearing at me. They were so mean. They're like, get wrecked, noob, I hate you, quit trolling, and then a bunch of F words. And I picked like a hamster or something. I don't know what it was. Some like weird creature. And everyone's like, oh, you're just trolling. And I literally had no clue what's going on. I was like, this is literally my first game. I'm so sorry. Everyone was mean to me. I hated the game and I uninstalled it. And that was like maybe 6 years ago or so. The Hangul Attack game. Yeah, so Hangul Attack is actually 2 games. I did one originally with Game Studio, I think. And that took me like a couple weeks to make because it's really basic. But then I remade the whole thing in Godot engine, which was scripting. It was like kind of like C# type of basic scripting with mostly like a lot of it's done in the engine and then with scripting to make it work. So it wasn't so much like programming as it was like just scripting. Same idea though, I know, just a little bit easier. League's one of the games that's sometimes better to play with chat off. Yeah, I wish I did that. So no one here works at Riot, do they? I actually, I almost worked at Riot. This was before I did Korean teaching. I don't know what I should, I gotta be careful not to dox myself. So I gotta see, what can I say? I'll just say a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, I was gonna work at Riot. I had an interview. I won't say what position it was for, exactly when, or how I got the job interview or anything like that. So we'll just keep it like that. But I went to I had a phone interview with them, and They liked me. So they actually flew me down because I was not living close to there. So they paid for me to get down there. And they're like, yeah, you're great. Let's do an interview. I'm like, cool. So I did a phone interview. I did like a video interview. I did another phone interview, and then I went down there and I'm doing all of their interviews. Like they had a big process and everything, you know, went out to lunch, did a few other interviews, met with another guy, and he's another guy who's like trying to speak some Japanese with me. And I'm like, okay, speaking some Japanese with him, really basic. Then I was going to have, at the end of the day, it was going to be a Korean interview. But before that, I was going to meet with, okay, everything's going great. Last interview before I do one with a Korean interview, which was with one of their Korean Americans there, I wasn't worried about it. But before that, we had a interview with the people I was going to be working with. And it was two guys, like the heads of the department. Sounds like you played Teemo. Yeah. And they were liking me because they were asking me some like typical interview questions, like riddles, which I've been into riddles since I was a very young kid. So I knew all the riddles they're asking me and I answered them and it made me look smart. And they're like, oh, this is great. Like, you're doing so good. They like told me that. And then they're like, all right, now is the last part of the interview. This is the part where we do just some programming questions. So we're going to check some of your knowledge of programming. You can use the whiteboard. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Programming. They're like, yeah. What you can use whatever language you want. We're just gonna ask you some questions. Don't worry, you know, don't take it too seriously. We just want to know your thought process. I'm like, I'm like, I don't program. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I don't do any programming. I mean, I did like RPG Maker when I was like a teenager. Does that count? I was like laughing. I'm like, I don't do any programming. I didn't put that on my resume. And they're like, really? And they went out and they talked with the recruiter, and I heard them talking for like 5 minutes. I don't know what they talked about, but then the recruiter left and they came back in. He's like, all right, well, that's enough for today. Thanks. You know, we'll let you know our decision later. Literally the job I got through all the way to the end process, the recruiter never checked my resume to see that I didn't program. They just wanted me at the job because they were just hiring, and they're like, oh, okay, I think this person will work, you know, speaks Korean, has experience with all the other stuff we want for the job, which is just regular stuff, like knowing how to turn on a computer, you know, that sort of stuff. And I had some job experience as well, just general like sales and stuff. But yeah, and I didn't get the job. didn't get a callback. Yeah. But it was kind of an interesting experience, and it was kind of fun because I'm like, how bad do you have to fail your job as the recruiter to let someone get to like pay for their flight, like pay for lunch? They paid for like my taxis to and from the airport. They paid for whatever I wanted to buy while I was there, like several $100s of you know, just between food and transportation, everything, and their time. And I'm like, you didn't even check. Like, why would you think I program? I never once said that. I was honest the whole time. I think they looked at my resume. They're like, oh, looks cool. Of course they can program. Oh, they probably just didn't put it on the resume, or they wouldn't have applied. So yeah. So that was the time I almost got a job at Riot, but I would not have gotten a job at Riot. It's just funny thinking about it. That was a long time ago. And yeah, I can't tell you too much more because I don't want to dox myself. If you work at Riot, it's possible you could find me and stuff. So I don't want to. 문자를 보는 순간 온 몸에 소름이 돋았다. Okay. 문자를 보는 순간, the moment that I saw or she saw the message, 문자 is text message. 온 몸, entire body. 온 is entire. 소름이 돋다 is like to get shivers, like goosebumps or whatever. Like, that's 소름이 돋다. So I got goosebumps all over my body the moment that I saw the text message. But we don't know what the text message is yet. It just showed us the white screen.
선생님,
Teacher.
왜 그러니 온조야?
What's up, Onjo? Why are you like that? 선생님 역시 문자를 보고 표정이 굳어졌다. The teacher as well. 역시 is like as expected, but it's like you don't really need to translate it. It's just like as the reader would expect in this situation, just as expected. The teacher also 문자를 보고 looked at it, and 표정 is facial expression. 굳다 is to hard. 굳어지다 is to harden. So her expression got stiff like that. So the English translation says, Miss Park froze as soon as she read the message. Yeah, that works. 보건실로 통하는 1층 계단을 내려가기 위해선 in order to go down the stairs, the first floor stairs that 통하다 goes through the 보건실, the health office. 이번 앞을 반드시 지나야만 했다. We must 반드시, like you have to. So we had to pass by 지나다 in front of 앞 2번, class number 2, which is where the teacher is. Oh, so Cosma says everyone must have been so shocked. Yeah, they weren't like shocked. I think they hid their reaction, but I think they were probably thinking like, what the heck? Like, they probably felt bad for me, if anything, because they were really friendly. Like everyone I met there was cool. Fake it till you make it. So another story about that. That's what my dad did. I know I have the horror music going, but I'll just say it really quick. My dad got a job like when I was probably before I was born or right after I was born, doing computer programming. He got a job as like a data, what's it called? Data entry or something. And he thought the job would literally be entering data into the computer. But he got the job and it turned out to be a programming job and he didn't know how to program. But he didn't want to say like, uh-oh, I can't program. So he just like kept his mouth shut, you know, put his head down and just like studied and learned and figured it out while doing the job, which I think is kind of cool. Okay, let's get this music off. Oh, it's still going to continue. Okay.
중앙통로를 돌아가면 거리도 멀 뿐더러 많은 교실을 지나쳐 가야 해요.
Okay, 중앙 is like main or center. 통로 is like the way, the path. In this case, I think it's referring to hall, like the class hallway. 돌아가면, so if we go around the main hallway to pass that, 거리도 멀 뿐더러. So not only will the 거리, the distance, get 멀다, farther, but also 많은 교실을 지나쳐야 해요. We have to pass by a lot of classrooms then. So English says if we go around to the main hallway, it'll take longer and we'll be going past more classrooms.
선생님, 너무 아파요.
I don't think I even need to translate this. I think you know what she says. 너무 아파요. It hurts so much. 현주의 기침에서 액체가 억류하는 소리가 섞여 들렸다. Okay, so it's got some sort of sound that 섞여, mixed with, and 들렸다, came out also. So like from her cough was this kind of like, 액체 is like liquid. So it's kind of like a gurgling sort of cough mixed in.
어쩔 수 없어요. 최대한 짧고 빠르게 보건실로 갑니다.
어쩔 수 없어요. There's nothing, we can't do anything about it. 어쩔 수 없다. Nothing can be done. 최대한 is as much as possible, as big as possible, as anything as possible. In this case, 최대한 짧다, as short as possible. 짧고 빠르게, short and quick as possible. 보건실로 갑니다. We're going to the health office the shortest and fastest way possible. Okay. 선생님은 망설임 없이 현주를 들쳐 입었다. So the teacher, 망설이다 is like to wait for something, to procrastinate, to delay. So without delay, the teacher put up, 들치다 is like lift up, 들쳐 업다 is like put someone on your back. So lifted her up over her back. 어떻게든 도와드릴 수 있는 방법이 없을까? 방법이 없을까? Okay. Yeah, fake it till you make it, exactly. And I mean, I'm faking it till I'm making it on YouTube too. Like, I started off my channel, I didn't know how to teach Korean beyond like intermediate level stuff. Like, that was all I knew how to teach at the time. So when I wrote my first book, I was never intending to write 3. I was thinking I would just write maybe 1, or if it sold, I was thinking maybe 2, which would just all be beginner level stuff. But then while teaching online and just while doing it, I would keep researching new stuff how to teach, and then learning better how to explain more difficult concepts. But yeah, it's like, I also didn't know what I was doing as a YouTuber. I just kind of got lucky at the timing that I started my channel in 2012 was still when YouTube was not new, but it was still in that area where there were no Korean teaching channels on YouTube. And I mean, Talk to Me in Korean was around before then, but they weren't really a thing. They didn't really grow very big. The only big channels at that time were Sweet and Tasty and Eat Your Kimchi, and yeah, that was pretty much it. And there were a bunch of like small channels that would do random tutorials, but that was pretty much it. Oh, and Korean Class 101 also was around. That was the big one. So yeah. Anyway, 어떻게든 도와드릴 수 있는 방법이 없을까? Could there not be any way that I can help? 어떻게든, somehow. And the English says, is there any way I could help? 들키지 않고 2학년 2반 앞을 지날 수 있는 방법. So a way that I can 지나다, pass by. 2반 앞, the front of class 2. 2학년, the second year, so the second year class 2. 들키다 is to get caught or to get found out, to get discovered. So 들키지 않고, is there any way that I can pass by the second year class number 2, in front of it, without being caught? 선생님과 현주를 보이지 않게 가릴 수 있는 물건이, could there be a 물건, an item that I can use to 가리다, to hide, so that 선생님과 현주를 보이지 않게, so that we're not going to see the teacher and 현주. So is there anything that I can use so that I can hide 현주 and the teacher so that they can't see? So in this case, it's 선생님과 현주를 가리다, to hide them, 보이지 않게, so they can't be seen. What's she gonna use? Like a blanket, maybe? Oh, the whiteboard.
선생님, 저거 쓰면 어떨까요?
Teacher, 저거 쓰면, how about if we use that? I think she's looking at the whiteboard. 화이트보드는 현주와 선생님을 가리기에 충분한 크기였다. So the whiteboard was a 충분하다, enough. In this case, 충분한 크기, enough size. 크기 is size. So it was enough size to 선생님을 가리기에, to hide the teacher, 현주와 선생님, and 현주. 교실에서는 뒤쪽이 보이지 않을 것이다. So in the classroom, 뒤쪽 is the back side. 보이지 않다, to not be seen. So the back side will not be seen from the classroom. So the English says you wouldn't be able to see them from the classroom. 교실에서는 뒤쪽이 보이지 않을 것이다. 막상 2학년 2반 앞에 서자. So as soon as we stood at in front of 2학년 2반, the second year class room number 2, 심장이 요동쳐왔다. My 심장, my heart was 요동치다, is like pumping. So my heart was pumping as soon as we stood in front of the class 2, sure. 막상 is like when something actually happens. So like 막상 is used with like 면, or like if, or as soon as. And it's like when you actually do something. 막상 하면, like when you actually, in that sort of like actually as in really, like for real, or in real life. Maybe that's a good way to translate, in real life. Like when we actually got there, like not we're thinking about it, but like in actuality, 수업 시간에 이런 걸 옮긴다고 수상하게 생각하면 어쩌지? So what if 어쩌지? What do we do if someone 생각하면 thinks 수상하다 is to be suspicious. So very sus. If someone thinks it's suspicious that we are 이런 걸 옮긴다고, because we're moving, 옮기다 is like moving something. So because we're moving something like this, 수업 시간에, during class time. So what if someone thinks something weird, like thinks it's suspicious that we're moving something like this during class time? Which is a legitimate thing. Like, why would someone be moving a whiteboard during class time from one classroom to another? Like, they would already have that ready to go, or do it during the break or something. But whatever. Oh, welcome back, Small. Okay. 최대한, again, as much as possible. 이병찬, that's the weird teacher. 선생님의 시선을 끌지 않는 게 좋다. It's better not to. 끌다 is to pull or drag. In this case, 시선 is sight. So to pull his sight, to catch his sight. Or you might translate it as to get his attention, but it really just means to have him look at us. 우리는 조용히 은밀하게 걸음을 옮겼다. So 걸음을 옮기다 is like literally to move your step, but it's like make steps to like move on our feet. So we 조용히, quietly, 은밀하게, like I believe that's like secretly, but I'm gonna check because the English translation in the English doesn't show that. Yeah. The English translation just says we slowly and quietly, but the Korean is like we quietly and secretively or secretly moved. Phew. 무사히 들키지 않고 뒷문을 지나쳤다. 무사히 is safely, without any incident. Literally, 무 is without. 사 is like incident or event. So safely. 들키다, again, is to be caught. So 들키지 않고, we didn't get caught safely. And 뒷문, the back door, 지나쳤다. We passed by the back door without being noticed. 잔뜩 긴장한 탓에. So because we were 잔뜩, full of 긴장, nervousness. So because we were like completely nervous, because of that, 탓에, it's like blaming something. 꾹 참았던 숨, the breath that we had been 꾹, like hard, like holding in something hard. 참다 is to hold in. 그제서야, that's when, exactly when, 터져 나왔다, just burst. So English says, the tension that had been keeping my breath at bay, the tension had been keeping my breath at bay, but I was able to burst out a breath of relief. That's a really bad translation, but that's kind of what it says. So only then could the breath that I had been holding my breath full of anxiety, and only then did I burst out in relief. I don't know. Forget it. I'll take their translation because at least it's a translation. 등줄기를 타고 흐르는 식은땀. 식은땀 is like dried or like cool sweat. So it's like, it's just, yeah, sweat, but it's already not hot anymore. 느껴지고, so I can feel some like sweat that was 흐르다, flowing. 타고, like you would say 타고 흐르다. It's like 타다 is like to ride on something, and 흐르다 is like to ride down. So what is it that it's flowing on? 등 줄기, like the 등 is your back. 줄기 is like a stream, like a streak of something. In this case, the 등줄기 is like your spine. So I felt a drop of sweat flowing down my spine. 다리가 풀려 주저앉고 싶다는 생각이 들었다. 주저앉고, sorry, not 주저앉고. 주저앉고 싶다는 생각이 들었다. 생각이 들었다 is like I had the feeling like. I want to. 싶다는 주저앉다 is like to plop down on the ground, to like, yeah, that's what it is. So I felt like my legs were like, I wanted to just, 풀리다 is like to be loosened, to be untied, to be undone. In this case, it's like your legs are stiff, but they feel like your legs are just like flopping. So it kind of felt like I just wanted to collapse. Let's see. Uh-oh. Oh no. It's the teacher. What is he doing here? 문 앞에 선 이병창 선생님의 모습을 보는 순간, the moment that I saw the 모습, the figure of the teacher, 이 선생님, 문 앞에 선, standing in front of the door, 심장이 멎을 것 같이 놀라고 말았다. My heart ended up, 심장, 멎다. Like, is that to stop, I believe? Yeah. So it felt like my heart was, I was surprised, like my heart was gonna stop. 깜짝이야. Yeah. Nice small with the face. Why is he like... Okay. 마치 날 내려다보는 저승자가 같은 눈빛에 어떤 말도 어떤 생각도 할 수 없었다. So 마치 is something's just like. So it's used with something 같다, like comparing with something. So just like 나를 내려다보다 is to look down at. 저승사자. I don't know how I just pronounced it before. 저승사자 is like, it's the Korea version of Grim Reaper. But it's not really Grim Reaper, but it's the equivalent of it. Anyway, the Grim Reaper, it was... 눈빛 is like your sight, your eyes, your expression in your eyes. Literally, it's the eye light. It was that eye expression that was just like the Grim Reaper looking down at me. So in that eye expression, 어떤 말도, not any words, 어떤 생각도, not any thoughts. 할 수 없었다. I couldn't say any words. I couldn't make any thoughts. It's like I didn't know what to think, what to say. But it's really, it's not really necessarily, I didn't know what to think, what to say. It's more like I couldn't say anything. I couldn't even think anything. But I don't like this narration. I prefer when it's speaking because the narration's harder to translate. 의심을 가득 담은 선생님의 시선은 이 장소에서 가장 부자연스러운. So 의심 is doubt, 가득 is full of, 담다 is like to contain. So the teacher full of doubt, 의 시선. So his eyesight that was full of doubt. So his eyes that were completely full of doubt. 이 장소에서, in this location, was the most 가장 부자연스럽다 is unnatural. So his gaze was full of suspicion and it started to move to the most suspicious thing. What? That doesn't make any sense. It's not suspicious. Unnatural is what they say. Anyway. So the teacher's vision, it's going to say moved to the most unnatural thing in this situation, which is going to be, it's going to imply that he looks at the whiteboard. I knew it. 화이트보드로 향했다. So it was ending the sentence and then implying that that most unnatural thing in the room is the whiteboard. So he moved his eyes to the whiteboard. Okay. 어떻게든 somehow 이병창 선생님의 시선을 돌려야 하는데 I have to 돌리다 is to turn. So literally to turn his vision or to turn his eyes sight. So I have to distract him is what you would say. So I have to somehow distract him. What should I do? 뭔가 변명을, some sort of excuse, to like make an excuse, or 몸으로라도 막아보자. Let's try to block him, at least use my body to block him so he can't see. Gray says, this is good for my level right now. My brain is tingling. That's good. But keep in mind that this sort of speaking, this sort of Korean is not the natural way to speak. This is narrative style. This is written style. So you'll see this in like books, but it's not how people speak. So if you learn this and then you go to Korea, well, you'll have a lot of vocabulary at your disposal, but this isn't how actually people would talk. Okay, I'm just gonna follow what the English translation says, because that way we can keep going through this more quickly. Let's see, what do they pick? I think they pick, I need an excuse. No. What are they? I need to do something? Okay, they do, I need to do something. Okay. I'm gonna do something with my body to block. Oh!
나와줘. 갑자기 놓으면 어떡해.
Hey, literally, what should I do if you suddenly let go? But this is implying like hey, you can't just let go like that all of a sudden. So I guess she let go of the whiteboard, pretended that she was carrying it.
선생님 안녕하세요.
Okay, I don't need to translate this one for you. 이삭이가 넘어지면서 화이트보드가 회전해 복도를 가로막았다. So, as Isagi, which is the girl on the left here, as she fell over, like, I guess, on the ground, whiteboard, 회전하다 is to spin, to turn. So it spun around or turned around, and 복도 is the hallway. 가로막다 is to block. So as Isak fell, the whiteboard spun around and covered the hallway. So maybe that'll work. I mean, I'm guessing both ways are going to have the same result where it'll work, but just it'll show you a different thing happening. Okay, 이삭이는 나만 볼 수 있게 살짝 엄지손가락을 지켜 세웠다. So, 이삭이는 나만 볼 수 있게, so that only I can see, 볼 수 있게. 살짝, a little bit. 엄지손가락 is a thumb. 엄지손가락, or 엄지. Yeah, 엄지손가락 is the thumb. 지켜 세우다 is like to put up. Like, it's basically just, she did this only so that only I could see, like that. And the English said, Isaac secretly gave me a thumb up. Thumb up? Okay. Don't we usually say thumbs up? Is my English just terrible? Like, I swear thumbs up sounds better.
시끄럽게 해서 죄송합니다.
Sorry for being loud. 시끄럽게 하다 is to do something loudly. The English says, I'm sorry for the ruckus. The ruckus, you say? Okay. I'm curious where this person is from who translated this.
죄송합니다.
I'm sorry. Okay, we don't need to translate that. 최대한, again, our word 최대한, as much as possible. 시선을 끌기 위해, to pull his attention, remember? To get his attention. 과장스럽게, overly, like, 과장하다 is to exaggerate something. 과장스럽게 is like very exaggeratedly. 말했지만, I speak very exaggeratedly to kind of distract him, to get his attention away. But 소용없다 is to not be useful, to not be helpful, to be no use. If you say 소용없었다, there's no use. The teacher, 선생님은 나와 이삭이를 차갑게 번갈아 볼 뿐이었다. So 뿐이었다 was only. So the teacher only did, what did he do? 보다, look. So 볼 뿐이었다, all he did was look. 번갈아 is like in turn, like one after the other, like this. 차갑게, coldly. So the teacher just looked at us coldly, one after the other, like that. 그리고 망설임 없이, again, our 망설임 없이. So as we go through this game, we're probably going to notice that the writer of this game is going to reuse expressions over and over again, and I've seen them reuse several already, which is okay. 망설임 없이, so without delay, 화이트보드 쪽으로 걸음을 옮겼다. 걸음을 옮기다 again. So without delay, the teacher moved, as in walked, or stepped toward the whiteboard. What's gonna happen?
어떡해.
Oh no. Oh, okay. What do we do?
모르겠어, 나도.
I don't know either. 모르겠어, 나도. 선생님의 손이 화이트보드에 닿았다. So 닿다 is to reach something or touch something, like to make contact with. So the teacher's hand was at the whiteboard. 막아야 한다고 생각했지만, so I thought that 막다 is to block or to stop someone. So like 막아야 한다, I have to stop him, I have to block him. I thought I have to stop him, but is this good news for us? 어떤 방법도 떠오르지 않았다. But 떠오르다 is to come to mind. It's usually used like 생각이 떠오르다, like you got a thought came to your mind. But 어떤 방법도, so I didn't have any sort of idea how is how you translate it naturally, but literally it's like not even any sort of method or way came to mind. 불안감을 감추기 위해 이삭이와 손을 움켜잡고, 움켜 is to like tightly, like grasp, 움켜잡다, to like grasp tightly. So I grasped Isaac's hand in order to, 불안감 is like an anxiety or like feeling of anxiety, feeling of like panic, I guess. So in order to stop that feeling, there's probably a better, hide, there we go. It's thumbs up. Okay, I'm like, I swear thumbs up sounded more natural, but what would be the difference between 시끄럽다 and 소란스럽다? Okay, so 소란 is a commotion. 소란 is more of a big deal. Like, you've caught, like, a disturbance is 소란. So 소란스럽다 would be like a more of something that's more of a bigger disturbance, more of a commotion. Let me see if there's a better... Okay, uproarious is a translation, noisy. But it's not used to say something's noisy. Like you just say 시끄럽다 for something that's noisy. It's more of a fancier word for something that's like not just loud, but also is like causing an issue. But 시끄럽다 is the one you're going to use like 100% of the time. 소란스럽다, more like loud clatter. Yeah. 소란, because 소란 is used by itself for like a loud noise. It just seems like more of a big deal if you use 소란, because like people might use the expression like 소란을 일으키다 is like to cause a commotion, like to cause a bunch of noise. It's like an actual thing. Let's see if I can check maybe the dictionary will even have a better definition. 시끄럽고 어수선한 데가 있다. Yeah, so it's not just loud, but it's like loud and unorganized and messy is what it means. So it's like more of an actual thing, like not just the noise, but like the whole thing around it. Like you're causing noise, and what's with all this stuff over here? You're like messing everything up, distracting people, like something going on. Okay. 가슴 졸이며 지켜볼 수밖에 없었다. Again, 수밖에 없었다. I think we're going to start seeing the same, if we pay attention, we're going to start seeing the same expressions in the narration portion of this game that the author's just going to keep reusing. Okay. So, 가슴 졸이다. So all I could do was 지켜보다 is like to watch, like to keep an eye on something. So all I could do was watch, and my heart's like that. But I'm going to try to get a better translation for this. I guess heart racing doesn't really have a translation. Feel anxious. I think feel anxious works. So 가슴을 졸이다 is like to feel really anxious. So while feeling anxious, 졸이며 or 면서 지켜볼 수밖에 없었다. So all I could do was watch.
소란스럽게 죄송합니다.
Ah, there you go. There's the word. 소란스럽게 죄송합니다. Apologies for the commotion. So if you said 시끄럽게 해서 죄송합니다, it's like, hey, sorry for being loud. But 소란스럽게 sounds more like, sorry, apologies for the commotion. It sounds like more of a, not just the noise you're acknowledging, but also like messiness and everything being unorganized. 혼란스럽다 would be like confusing. For like 혼란. So for that would be for the like confusion about something.
교장 선생님께서 약품 현황판을 만들어 달라셔서
The 달라셔서 is 달라고 하셔서 or 달라고 말하셔서. So because the teacher asked 만들어 달라, make something for them, what did they ask to make? Well, they wanted a 현황판, like a kind of like a board of something. I don't know this word. Oh, status board. Okay. I don't really care that I didn't know that word. 약품 would be medicine. 약, literally medicine, and pum, product. So the teacher asked me to make a board of all the medicine that we have. 교장 선생님께서, or 선생님이 is what it means, but it's the more honorific version. So the principal had asked me to make a board of the medicine for them, like displaying the medicine that they have.
그랬군요.
Is that so? Or literally it's, that is so. Like literally.
네, 마침 2학년 5반에 남는 게 있다고.
Yeah, fortunately, 2학년 5반, so the second year class number 5, 남는 게, something that's left over. 남다 is to be remaining, to be left over. 있다고, so because they said they had one that left over. 혼란 seems, oh, actually, you know, I see what you're talking about. Let me check. You're probably right. There aren't too many 한자 for 란. Yeah, you're right. It's the same 소란 and 혼란 for same 란. Nice catch, Keith.
알겠습니다. 그럼 수고하십시오.
This guy speaks weird. He doesn't sound natural at all. 알겠습니다. I see then. 그럼 다음에 또 봐. 수고하십시오. Yeah, it's basically, all right, thanks then. I mean, I think 수고하다 translates really naturally as thanks. Same with 고생하다, it translates as thanks. But the situations where you use them is quite different. I made a video about that, but I think I uploaded it. 수고, 고생, 고billy, Korean. I know I made it. I just don't know if I uploaded it yet. Let me check. Oh wait, no, I have to check on my channel. I must not have uploaded it yet, but I made a video like a few months ago about 수고하다 and 고생하다, but the really short version is that they both translate as thanks. But anyway, so in this case, it's literally though work hard, but it translated naturally as, all right, thanks. Like, thanks for telling me, that sort of thing. 이병창 선생님은 더 이상 흥미가 없다는 뜻. 보건 선생님의 말이 끝나기도 전에 돌아섰다. So, the teacher, Lee, 더 이상 흥미가 없다는 뜻. As if he did not have any more 흥미, interest. So as if he wasn't interested in him anymore. 뜻, just like, as if. 보건 선생님, the health teacher, the nurse. Sorry, it's health teacher literally, but it's nurse is a better way. The nurse's 말 끝나기도 전에. So even before her words had finished, even before she was finished speaking, 돌아섰다, turned away. 돌아서다 is like to turn around, to turn away. Okay, I think we're good for today. I thought I just felt the room shake. I think it's because I bumped my desk. Anyway, I think we're good for today. I want to keep going, but it's 7 o'clock and I should keep doing other things too. Just close that. Let's just turn this on. Talk just a little bit while we're here. Let me put the chat up here so I can see it. Isn't Shipsho like old speak? So it is not old speak. It is more formal sounding than Seiyu, but it is less common. It just sounds very straightforward. So I shouldn't say that it really sounds a lot more polite. It is more polite than Seiyu, but it's that it sounds a little bit fancy and it's less common. And these days, because it's older, it sounds more straightforward. Like, all right then, 수고하십시오. All right, thank you then. Versus 수고하세요 is like, hey, thanks. It sounds more friendly. And 수고하십시오 sounds more like straightforward, like disconnected, like you're just directly saying 수고하십시오, like thank you then. So it's, yeah, less personal is the word I was trying to think of. And that's the same for all of the 십시오 endings. Is it rude to use 수고하셨어요 to our teachers? Isn't 고생? Yes. And I talk about that in the video I made. Like I said, I don't know when it's going to be uploaded. Let me actually check to see if I can figure out. Probably it'll be uploaded the 13th of January. I'm sorry, because I'm looking at my schedule. I only post one of those Korean FAQs every 3 weeks when I don't do a live stream. And it looks like that's scheduled to be January 13th. But I filmed it back. When did I film it? I filmed it back in like April, I think. Very end of April or early May, I filmed it. I can't really remember, but I think it was then. And I filmed like 12 or 14 episodes at the same time. And that was one of them. I do like the Korean FAQ videos. I get to talk about stuff besides just like hanta or general things. I get to talk about some things that are like fun to me when I do those. Yeah, it's still got, yeah, it's not going to be up for a bit. Is a cheat sheet? Oh yeah, cheat sheets are coming. Again, I finished them. When did I finish them? I finished them actually exactly 2 weeks ago. But then I polished them again. And I edited the video last week. So it hasn't been done that long, really. I'm not going to be sitting on it too long. No, this week is podcasts. So just like Thursday's video was recommending 15 YouTube channels, this one's 15 podcasts. I've never done a podcast video before. So I'm going to be recommending podcast channels. Next week is a skit that I filmed in July with the Choi sisters that I'm looking forward to. The week after that, so you can put it on your calendars, December 5th will be the cheat sheets video. But I'll give you a heads up that the cheat sheets are going to be free, but you have to join Patreon. But you don't have to join a paid tier. You can join the free tier and still get the cheat sheets. So if you want to make sure you get the cheat sheets as soon as they're posted, join Patreon. And you can, again, if you're not a Patreon member, that's fine. You don't have to pay me. I'm really making these free. But you'll want to be a member before the 5th of December. I think I might upload them a day early there. I'm not sure. But you'll get them right away as soon as they post. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. I might do like... Tell me what you think. What I'm thinking of doing is posting the cheat sheets at a regular resolution for free for everyone who's a Patreon. So it'll be high enough resolution that you can print it out on a piece of paper. And that's it. Like, it'll be good enough to print on a piece of paper. If you want to print it on a poster, that's on you if you want to do that. And I think I'm going to release like high quality versions for paid Patreon members, like for the ones who are like $1. But I haven't decided exactly if I'm going to do that. I'm still kind of planning. There's like a lot of little things I think about stew for a while. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited about those because they're super cool. One of them I really wish I had when I was a beginner, just because it was so hard to learn sound change rules. And I've done sound change rules videos, but this is like I am like proud that it is every sound change rule, and that I got it nicely on this one sheet of paper, including like exceptions for it. So I'm really happy about that. And then the other ones are like, you know, regular cheat sheets. Okay, I think that's good for today. Thanks for coming, everyone. I'll definitely do another stream sometime next week, maybe next Monday or later this week if I'm bored. This week I'm writing a video about the K-pop group ATEEZ, which I'm just starting the research today. Oh yeah, Cosma, that... Hold on. Ignore my sweatpants for a sec. Like I said, I'm dressing warm. That sound change rule, it's right here. And I have done a video about it before. It's called Niem Chomga. I've done a video about it before, but this is like, you don't have to watch a bunch of videos to get it. It's all right here, which is cool. And then there's another sound change rule I've never made a video about, but I will. And that's with hanja word exceptions. Like, for example, the word hanja. Why is it hanja? There is no rule that you make a jiat into a double consonant after a nian. There's no such rule. Why is it not hanja? Because it is hanjur, hanja, han, everything like that. Hanjan. It's not hanjan when you like get a drink of something. It's hanjan. So why is it hanja? Well, there's a rule for that. Certain syllables that are originally from hanja may sometimes be pronounced with a double consonant when they're not at the start of a word. So it's only when it's not at the start of a word. And then there are some specific syllables to look out for. It's not everyone. I list a bunch of them. But anyway, yeah, these are just a few syllables. So I also list that as well. And then all the regular ones are simplified. Like, I found a way to simplify them even more than I do in my videos. Like, I put all the Lear rules together in one long, there are 5 of them. But when you look at it like this, I think it's going to be easy to reference. You're gonna see a word, you're like, I don't know how to get that. I don't know how to read that. And you're just going to be able to look here like, oh yeah, that's right. It's that situation I see. So I'm really happy with this. Like I said, I really wish I had this when I was a beginner, because sound change rules just were huge pain. I mean, a few of the other ones are kind of cool. Like a post-positioned one that lays them out really nice. But I mean, I wouldn't need it now because, I mean, as a beginner, yeah, I guess it's cool. I'm just more excited about the sound change rules personally. Dates and seasons, like holidays. I still need this one sometimes. Like, what's the holiday going on? Like, what is it celebrating? When is it celebrated? All that stuff's here. And then, like, how do you count days? How do you count weeks? Count months? All the seasons names, all that stuff. You know, which is the word I should use for the day after tomorrow? Should I use this word or this word? Or should I use this to say this month or last month? Like, there's so many different words, so this kind of puts them all there. All the common particles and markers, like the most essential ones. It's like subject, all the topic, subject, object marker, possessive marker, wa, qua, plural markers, asol, egesol, a bunch of the 4 most common uses of udol. Even though udol has like 8 uses, I condensed down the 4 most common ones you're gonna see. To, man, pakke, gaji. Verb conjugation for yo form. This one also is super useful, although I didn't need it as a beginner because I was pretty good about conjugating verbs. I was really like focused on that. But yeah, all the rules, there aren't actually that much. When you look at them on a page, it's like nothing, right? It's like, that's it. You're telling me that's the lesson that caused so much pain to beginners, is this little tiny thing? Yeah, and then the Korean alphabet, which, I mean, if you're a brand new beginner, it's useful. Stroke order, names of all the letters. The stroke order took a long time to make because I made them all like nice and clear, so you can just look at it and see the stroke order right away, even for the double letters. Consonant blocks, pronunciation tips, and then like dictionary order for words, because the dictionary order is different than the regular order that you learn them, which is how they're written. It's not the way that the dictionary organizes them. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm excited to share them. I know I've already been kind of talking about them a bit. I worked on these for several weeks, and then it took me like 2 days to, when I actually, after finished planning them, then it was like 2 more days each to design, because I'm not a graphic designer. So you can guess how long it took me to like make everything look pretty. Still might even make a change to them before I release them, I'm not sure. It's good enough. Cool. All right. Take care, guys. See you again next week. See you on oh yeah, I'll let you guys know. So Sunday on my channel, not this channel, but my actual channel, there's no live stream officially, but I might do a bonus live stream. I'm not announcing it. I don't announce them when I do it, but I'm thinking I'll do it. I don't want to commit to it yet because something else might come up. But yeah, okay. See you guys again later. 다음에 또 봐.